Mhm.
I am like, this is not to not, yes. Like there's a very real chance that we get to 2027 and it's like, man, there's just this cupboard is dry. And that would suck. But also, I think that there's a chance for some wins in that stretch. And I think you watch a guy like Nick Clifford,
Mhm.
who they picked 24th. They didn't give up a ton of capital to move up to 24th or move into the first round, I guess, not move up, but move into the first round. And man, through two summer league games, I don't want to overreact. I don't want to put Nick Clifford stamped all-star, everybody watching, but it's hard not to be encouraged by a player like Nick Clifford, by a player like Maxime Reynaud, and go, okay, I feel okay if the Kings are drafting 12, 13, 14 over the next couple of years and finding impactful players.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to make a weird analogy here, right?
Love a
So
weird analogy.
let's say that you're like building out your living room, right?
Okay.
And you really, really want this couch, but the couch is like $4,000, and you're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to afford that couch
Yeah.
today or tomorrow, but maybe 2 years from now I can afford it.
Yeah.
You don't just like stop building out the rest of the living room. You can still paint the walls. You can still put up a TV that might not be the end all be all TV, but you can still find a really nice find for a coffee table or an
Sure.
end table, and you're slowly piecing the thing together
Mm-hmm.
for when you do have the money to go buy that couch to like tie it all together.
Sure.
But the thing is, by that point, you might be looking at a different couch, because when you go to tie it all together, that couch that you originally thought you were going after, it doesn't fit the room
Who's
anymore.
the couch?
Well, the couch is the players that the Kings don't have.
Got it.
It's the star point guard. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But I think you also need to define what it is that you have, the rest of the pieces that you have, and you need to keep proving those up. Like, just because you can't get the couch doesn't mean you can't get other nice things all around that will support that. And so when I'm watching like a guy like Nick Clifford, like I instantly see like a modern day Lionel Simmons.
Sure.
Like I instantly see like Evan Turner, like not superstar, but really, really good, solid role player in the NBA for years. Whether they're a starter or not, you don't know yet. They've got a lot to prove up, but that doesn't mean that they're not functional pieces.
Yeah.
Reynaud instantly looks like a player that you're like, okay, I think that there's a pathway forward for him to actually be an NBA player. And then all of a sudden he shows you flashes of stuff that you're like, okay, that pass he made to Isaac Jones, that Reynaud made to Isaac Jones for the hammer dunk, was like, where in the world did that come from? Because that is not on his college tape. And so sometimes when you get a guy at the pro level and the spacing changes, all of a sudden his basketball IQ starts to show up a lot more.
Yeah.
And so I do think that they found something in Reynaud. I do think they found something in Clifford, but that doesn't mean that they found like one of their top 3 players or a future starter. We don't know those things yet, but they sure do have skills. And you're like, okay, there's a way for him to get on an NBA floor. And that's what you're kind of hoping for, at least in the first summer league for players. And you're hoping that they continuously build from that. But this is like a really good benchmark moment for the Kings, where when you put guys out there in summer league, it's, do they look like they belong or do they not? And there are so many players that you instantly see, you're like, oh man, that guy's just a hack. Like he's got no chance of ever making it. And it doesn't matter how many points he scores. It doesn't matter how many times he like lowers his shoulder and runs through the entire defense and slams into everybody and somehow hits some haymaker. That doesn't matter. And I think what we're seeing from Clifford and we're seeing from Reynaud, 2 players who just legitimately get it right away.
That's it.
And you're like, competency. Competency first.
It provides, because I don't think Nick Clifford is going to go in. I'm going to go out on this limb, an average 19, 12, and 5, which is what he had in the second game. But what Reynaud and Clifford's games have done in the summer league for me is give me confidence that whatever role they're going to eventually settle into with the Kings, they'll settle into that role. Like they have the skill set to do, because it's not like what Nick Clifford is doing for the summer league Kings is not exactly what he's going to be asked to do for the Sacramento Kings. It's going to be a little bit different. But when you watch him and you just watch where he goes on the court, how assured he is in his movements,
Mm-hmm.
how he knows where to go with the ball, how he knows what he's doing defensively, the IQ to know how to draw contact and get to the line, which he's done really effectively.
Yep.
All of that stuff is like, man, he's going to be able to piece this together where, okay, the Kings don't need all this stuff, but he is competent at enough things that he's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Whatever role he settles into, he's going to be really good in that role. And I think the same thing for Reynaud. And if you can find, and again, this comes back to what we were talking about with the Kings building, their team building. If Clifford and Reynaud are NBA players, like just rotation guys, even if only one of them's a starter, the other one's off the bench, but they're playing 20 plus minutes a night, like that's so big for this year. Even if they don't get off any of their big contracts, even if they are, really mid and winning 38 to 41 games and they're just in kind of the back of the lottery again, okay, like fine. But at least like Clifford and Reynaud, yes, good, 2 thumbs up. And so far, again, we're in summer league. Maybe they get to the NBA and just cannot figure it out.
Oh yeah,
Seen it before.
Very possible.
Seen it before.
Yeah.
But right now, if you're looking for something, if you're in the camp, and I am like, salute, I get it. This is not knocking you. I 100% feel why you feel this way. But if you're in the camp of like, we're just wasting these 2 years to be mediocre, like, no, you're not. Because I think you can find a player like Clifford. You can find a player like Reynaud. And if they're playing and if they're growing, now you start to see, okay, this is maybe the foundation of this core that's going to help the Kings be more relevant in 27 and beyond.
Yeah. So I had conversations early last week about like Reynaud specifically. And I'm not super high on the Drew Eubanks acquisition, right?
Well,
he is what he is.
Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
Well, but here's the deal. Your starter is going to play 35 minutes a night and Domantas Sabonis, maybe 36, right? He's going to hold down the fort. Drew Eubanks is nowhere near as good a player as Jonas Valanciunas. But also having Jonas Valanciunas on your roster at $10 million playing 13 minutes a night doesn't make any sense. It makes sense if you're in a stretch run and you're trying to get to the playoffs and you think that guy might be a matchup issue or might help you with a matchup issue down the road. That totally makes sense, right? But having a guy like Drew Eubanks does very specific things. Number one, you can crank the tempo up off the bench. Like, he is a player who plays much faster than Jonas Valanciunas, right? He's also a guy who does all the dirty work and is more versatile as a defender. He's not the guy who's going to knock somebody to the floor or take up all the space in the key, but he is a guy who hustles and who tries to defend the perimeter. The other thing that Drew Eubanks does is he opens the door for Reynaud to actually play, because Eubanks is a player that throughout his career has either played or not played, and it doesn't matter. He comes in, he does his job when he gets to play. When he doesn't get to play, he doesn't sulk, he doesn't complain, he doesn't sit there and make a big problem about it. So if Reynaud is better than the 42nd pick in the draft, if Reynaud is actually a first round pick like he was projected, and he comes in and he starts playing meaningful minutes in year one, 12 minutes a game, 14 minutes a game, and he starts to build a little bit, you now can bring him along. Where if you had Jonas Valanciunas, I hate to tell you this, Reynaud would not have played a single minute the entire season unless you really, really had to. And so, like, I see the vision for why you did what you did. And the other thing is, like, look, we talk about 2027, right? This thing is a mess. They have so much. It's not just the gigantic contract of Zach LaVine or the whatever money you owe DeMar DeRozan. It's the fact that you had no second round picks. It's the fact that you had all of this, like, stripped down. Like, this was a financial mess. And they've, like, Scott has a bunch of housekeeping to do before he can really even start doing the main heavy lifting of work. And again, we get closer to 2027, you're going to start seeing a lot of ability to move a guy like Zach LaVine or a guy like DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan at the trade deadline has way more value than he does today.
1,000%.
And that's both to the Kings and to another team.
Totally.
He has way more value.
There's going to be some team that's pushing for the playoffs who lost a scorer and DeMar DeRozan's available on the cheap. Like, financially on the cheap. And he's going to have value for sure. Just on real quick on right now, I'm going to take it a step further. Unless he's a disaster, Like, unless he just cannot play in the NBA, he should be playing over Drew Eubanks. Like, that's where when you start talking about this youth movement and wanting to hey, who cares about wins? We want to see that. To me, is where, hey, you know what? If he's going to miss a defensive assignment here and miss a read on offense there, but overall he looks like he can play and he's learning and he's growing, there's zero reason to play Drew Eubanks
by November or December. But if you come out and all of a sudden you're fighting and your team is better than you think, you have to at least give this team an opportunity to be who they might be.
Sure.
And if they show very quickly that they're not going to progress or they're not going to be a playoff team, then that's when you say, okay, like February, he's playing a ton, but let me start peppering him in December and let me see what he's got and see if he can actually help change the trajectory, if he can be better than what you're actually running out there. And that's totally a possibility.
Whatever is best for his development, I guess, is what I should say. Like, if they think playing him, if they go, man, he just needs to play, then cool, let him play. But if it's that, sprinkle him in November, December. We'll see where we're at come January. All right.
I love that he barks, that Reno barks on defense. Like, he's all over the place. He's yelling and screaming. Like, he's moving. Hey, look at that. That's good.
Love to see it. I have to apologize to an athlete. One of my least favorite things in sports is when somebody's like, you need to apologize. Like, I don't, but I'm going to in this regard. We'll tell you who it is next. That's James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. Joe Brazil over there. Complex is walking by. We're the Insiders, sponsored by Jiffy Lube.